great pleasure to welcome Amber Paaso, Victim Assistance Center Director for YCC Family Crisis Center. I have a deep personal connection to YCC as I served as its Housing Services Director in the early 90s and after I retired in 2012, ran its capital campaign as a volunteer. YCC is a critical part of our community as the only domestic and sexual violence assistance center in Weber County, serving thousands of women, men, and children each year. Its goal of saving and changing lives is closely aligned with UU principles. Amber Paaso, an Ogden native and a dedicated advocate for survivors, has spent over 20 years working at the intersection of domestic violence and sexual assault services. Now 4.5 years into her journey with YCC, Amber manages nearly $2 million in funding across YCC's most vital programs. Her professional path has taken her from volunteer coordination and project management in Houston to her current leadership role at YCC. Outside of her work, Amber's life is shaped by her family, including both furry and feathered friends, and her time serving abroad in South Korea, Finland, and Switzerland, experience that have enriched her understanding of the diverse community she serves today. Please welcome Amber.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you. Ashley, when we were emailing back and forth, she asked me to think about the lens of purpose that I put into my work, and I've really had to kind of stop and think and reflect on, why I do the work that I do and what brought me here. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit today. We all wear so many masks in our lives. I identify myself as a mother, as a wife, a daughter, a sister, a friend. But I think most of all, I identify myself as a feminist, a humanist, somebody who deeply cares for the people around them and in our world. And I'm especially deeply committed to supporting individuals. Well, I feel that I'm a committed ally to those who are marginalized in our society. For me, being an ally to marginalized communities isn't just a label or a passive stance. It's an active, ongoing responsibility. It means recognizing that there are systematic barriers, discrimination, and violence that affect everyone. It means using whatever platform, privilege, and voice I have to amplify the voices of others, for those who are often silenced, ignored, or pushed into the margins, whether because of their race, gender identity, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, or background. True allyship is that is done without judgment, fighting alongside for full equity, safety, and self-determination. Growing up right here in Utah, Ogden, this community has always been home to me. But it was actually during my time at Weber State that this path really took place. I had an amazing professor named Nancy Hanstad, and she got me involved in really looking at international women's issues, and that's where that spark of passion was brought to light. And so I further pursued that goal by getting a degree in a master's in women's studies at Florida Atlantic University. And that academic foundation launched me into what has really been a 20-year years of dedication into fighting violence against women. So over the last 30 years, my journey has also taken me far beyond Utah, living and traveling abroad in Africa, Asia, Europe, and that also completely reshaped my worldview. It taught me firsthand the incredible richness of this world and how different cultures, different beliefs, and ideas make us all so special. But even more than that, seeing humanity through so many global lenses reinforced the core truth in me. No matter where you go, what language you speak, or what background you come from, every single person carries an intrinsic, non-negotiable worth. I identify myself as an agnostic. My worldview isn't grounded in a specific religious doctrine. My faith is entirely rooted in people. I do not look upward for purpose. I look around. I look around because I believe that love, kindness, and equity aren't just nice ideals for one Sunday morning. They are the essential infrastructure required for a healthy, vibrant, and just community. When someone experiences domestic violence or sexual assault, that fundamental human dignity is stripped away from them. The late Congressman and civil rights leader John Lewis famously urged us to get into good trouble, necessary trouble, to redeem the soul of our society. But he also spoke of its opposite, what he called bad trouble. Bad trouble isn't just a breakdown of rules, it's the deliberate violence, isolation, and systematic harm that tears human beings down and strips away their core of humanity. Domestic violence and sexual assault are most definitely bad trouble in its purest form. It is insidious theft of trust, the violent rupture of safety, and the calculated destruction of a person's worth inside the very places where they should feel the most secure. It's a quiet crisis that thrives in silence, shame, and indifference. And it is precisely why we cannot afford to be passive bystanders. We do not fight bad trouble by looking away and playing it safe. We fight it by stirring up some good trouble. We get into good trouble when we break the silence surrounding abuse. We get into necessary trouble when we refuse to tolerate victim blaming, when we challenge the systems that allow violence to persist, and when we demand unyielding accountability and equity for every single survivor. The poet Maya Angelou captured the global heart of this shared struggle in her poem, Human Family. She said, "I note the differences in the human family. I've sailed upon the 7 seas and stopped in every land. I note the obvious differences between each sort and type, but we are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. Because we are more alike than unalike in our fundamental need for safety and respect, we have a collective duty to answer bad trouble with some good trouble. For nearly 20 years, that passion has fueled my simple, uncompromising conviction that no one's dignity is expendable. We step into the fray to support a survivor when we offer them shelter in the middle of the night, or legal advocacy in a courtroom, or simply a listening ear. And that a listening ear that lets them know that I believe you. We are engaging in the urgent, sacred work of good trouble. We help them reclaim what was stolen. We remind them that they matter simply because they are human. That shared commitment to human dignity is why I'm so glad to be here with you today, and why I'm excited to talk about how YCC Family Crisis Center puts these values into practice every single hour of the day, right here in our hometown. And I'm also hoping I get you all into some good trouble. So if we could talk about, we have an issue.
The TV is having an issue.
Okay.
However, Zoom is still going, like slideshow can still be presented on Zoom. So if people want to get out their phones and join via Zoom to see the presentation, that might work.
Welcome to do that. And I'm used to this. Technology can be a wonderful thing. It can also be an awful thing if it doesn't work when you need it to work.
If people want the Zoom code for...
And I can share, and this can be shared with you. I need it just to give me a guide because I will forget what I've talked about and what I haven't spoken about. So I just want to give you an idea of what YCC does, all the services that we provide, and so on. So YCC supports any individual, regardless of income, immigration status, gender, sexual orientation. It doesn't matter who you are. If your life has been impacted by domestic or sexual violence, we will provide you safety, advocacy, and resources so they can journey into safe and healthy lives. I'm also excited to say last year was our 80th anniversary. I don't know if many of you are aware of the history. Once upon a time, we were YWCA. And then in the early 1980s, there was a short split, and that's when we became Your Community Connection, and then later changed our name to YCC Family Crisis Center. So we've been around for many, many years and proud to be here. So I just want to give you a guide of some of our shelter. I think most people know that we are a shelter, but we do much more than that. We provide different services for both domestic and sexual assault victims. We also have housing programs, as Karen mentioned. We also have an award-winning child care center called A Place to Grow. And then we also do a lot of outreach and education. So let me give you some details about our shelter. We have 62 beds in our shelter. It's open obviously 24/7, which means we also have a crisis hotline that is run 24/7. That is staffed day and night and available. Anybody who has been experiencing domestic violence may be available. And that is if somebody is fleeing, their life is in danger and they need a safe place to stay. And we welcome anyone. There we can provide 3 meals a day. It's also in a secure facility. We are strange in the fact that everybody can find our address. Most domestic violence shelters, the addresses are confidential, but we're a locked and secured building. We have a great security with our cameras and so on. So, and our shelter is on the 2nd and 3rd floor of our building. But there we provide case management. We provide domestic violence classes. We can refer people to therapy, connect them to other resources in the community. And what we hope is that when they leave us, they're going into safe and secure housing. As part of our domestic violence program, we have, I think one of the biggest things and one of our busiest programs is our domestic violence advocates. They pretty much write up every single protective order that happens in Weber County. And then they will represent all of those individuals in court. I was just pulling our annual numbers, and last year they helped over 1,000 individuals with protective orders. We also provide community case management. So a lot of people think to get services from us, they have to be in the shelter. That's not true. There may be individuals that are experiencing domestic violence, but they're maybe not quite ready to leave, or they're not sure what to do. They can still come to us and we can help them with classes and other supports. We will go out on crisis calls as well. So a lot of times law enforcement will call us, and we have advocates that are ready and available 24/7 to respond to a scene and provide support for a victim. And then we provide safety and wellness. One of the things we will do constantly whenever anybody calls us is to do a safety assessment with them and a safety plan to make sure that wherever they are in whatever situation they're in, they have the most important information they can to remain safe. I'm sure you've heard that it's when a woman or an individual tries to leave that is the most dangerous time for them. So we want to make sure that we can make that as safe as possible. We also have a sexual assault program. That is where I started at YCC. I was the coordinator for the sexual assault program. Those services are all the same. We have a crisis response team that will go out and accompany someone to a forensic exam. Most of the forensic exams take place at the Weber County Health Department, which is wonderful for us. It's literally across the street from YCC. And that is such a nice space to go instead of an emergency room and so on. But we have those advocates available there. And then we provide follow-up case management, court accompaniment, and also provide therapy and support groups at YCC. And you guys are welcome to ask me questions if this forum is okay for that. Let me see what else. Yes.
You have a law enforcement presence at YCC. I mean, right there.
No, we don't. We don't have any security there. We have found we don't need it. You cannot get into the building without being allowed into the building. It's a lockdown facility. We do have, under 2 certain desks, these emergency buttons. We don't even need to say anything. We just push a button And the Ogden Police Department will be there with just in minutes. But the time that I've been there, we've never needed to do that. Yes.
What's your relationship with them?
We work with them. Sometimes some clients, it can go both ways. Sometimes they have clients that are homeless that have experienced domestic violence. And so you may work with their clients or actually transfer them into our shelter. And vice versa. We may have some of our clients that may not fit into our shelter at the time, say we're full, but we might work with them. But they are a really important community resource for us and within the homeless system and the housing system as a whole. I want to talk about one other program that I'm really, really proud of, which is our prevention program. Last year, our prevention program reached over 6,000 youth in Ogden, and that is in the Ogden and Weber school districts. They go out and teach what healthy relationships should look like. They teach so many wonderful skills, and I'm so very proud of them and what they're accomplishing. It is their work that is going to put me out of work. If we can raise a generation where they know what a healthy relationship looks like, and they can model that to their children, and then their children will model that. That is where change really, really comes. So my prevention team is the best when it comes into getting into good trouble, and I'm really proud of them for that. The other thing is our housing program. Things have changed a lot since Karen was there. We now have a brand new transitional housing program right on site. It opened up 2 years ago, and that has 14 apartments in it. In the 2 years that it's been opened, we have already been able to transition, I think, about 10 families through there into permanent housing. So if you're not familiar what transitional housing is, it's meant to be very short-term housing with a lot of wraparound services and support. A temporary stay to help you build, whether it's your credit to build, to increase your income, maybe build some skills, help you deal with some credit issues that you may have. So then you're able to get an apartment or a place on your own. That has been wonderful. And then we also have some scattered site where we help, it's called rapid rehousing, and we can help pay rent for up to a year. And it's the same thing. We provide case management and wraparound services during that period. So we hope that when that time ends, you're able to take over your rental payments and you're now independent and self-sufficient. Those are I need to talk about our daycare, which I did. We have an amazing daycare center that has been awarded twice in the last few years. They do social emotional learning and just do some fantastic things, and they're just getting ready to finish their summer program as well. So we have a lot of things happening at YCC. And one thing I wanted to talk to you about is what you can do if you want to help. We always need people. Your time is precious to us. If you're willing to come and just sit at the desk, at our front desks, what we really need is to train some people who can come in. We have walk-ins every single day, and our case managers are really busy, but they try to take a certain walk-in shift every day. Our goal is to have volunteers who could help with those walk-in shifts. Just when people come in, find out what they need, and then connect them to the resources within our agency or outside of our agency. That would be helpful. If you like kids, you can help with open gym. That happens a couple nights a week when moms or dads are attending parenting classes. The children go to open gym and learn social emotional skills. We always need administrative assistance at the front desk I mentioned. Childcare and youth mentorship. If you like working with children, you could join up Brent on the prevention team and go out to schools and teach prevention. And then we have event and awareness all the time. If you want to go out and table it at the Pride parade and things like that, we would love that kind of support. So your time is very important. Of course, there's always resources. We have a wish list. If you go to our website, we have an Amazon wish list. I can tell you we go through a lot of diapers, a lot of bedding, a lot of towels and things like that in our shelter. So there's certain things that we always need and can always use. There's always direct financial contributions, and I will leave some envelopes today if anybody would like to do that. And then, as a congregation, maybe you want to do a drive for certain things that we may need, and that would be fantastic as well. And then lastly, your skills. What kind of special skills do you have that maybe you could come and share with us? Even if it's teaching some computer classes to some of our clients who might not, have brushed up on some of those skills, life skills and things like that. I used to, when I wasn't so busy, used to go in and teach knitting and do some crafts and things like that with clients. It's fun. Or if you are a great handy person around the house and you want to come and do some painting, our west stairwell right now could really use some painting as well as our shelter. So if you are inclined to get out a brush and a ladder, we would love to have you come and do that. And then again, just, advocating for us when you're out in the community. I think that's one of the biggest things. If you hear someone that is maybe having some difficulty, let them know we're there for them. I think that's probably the most important thing that you can do, is letting people know that there are people here that care at YCC. We're there to listen to them and provide them the support in probably one of the most difficult times in their lives. And that is it for me today, unless you have any questions. Thank you. And be sure to get in some good trouble today and tomorrow. And forever.
And forever. I invite you to think back on our past week and to bring forward in your memories a moment of joy. Remember the moment as vividly as possible, the sights and sounds and feelings associated with that moment. Let your body rest in joy for a moment. We continue our collective prayer by coming forward to engage in our weekly ritual that helps us to collectively hold the challenges and joys of being human. As you light a candle, let it hold your hopes, memories, and gratitudes for this beautiful, complicated world and for our lives. And as you drop a stone in our sacred gathered waters, may it be an opportunity to imagine those burdens and quests for forgiveness held in a community that will let the stone land with care and intention. Please come forward. Our offering is a practice of gratitude for this community filled with care, courage, love, and resistance. We commit to keeping this community resourced for the ministries ahead, both in our walls and beyond. The offering we collect each week supports us in being the community that can best respond to the needs of those times. Today, offering donations will benefit YCC and their work with survivors of domestic and sexual violence. I need a couple of volunteers. Please rise and bow your voice to face the center aisle. Sing together the offering song printed in your order of service.
I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and for this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and for this we live.
Your abundant generosity is part of modeling care and love. Thank you. And for announcements, Presbyterian Church, our wonderful hosts here, held their rummage sale this last weekend. And I do believe, I'm not entirely positive, they will continue to sell after church today. So that will be probably around 11:30 or so. If you want to go over to the main building up to the multipurpose room where they have their coffee hour, I believe you can still buy a bag for $5 or a bag for $10 and fill it up. And I came on Friday and I got some great stuff. So there's still a lot left over. But the good news is also that anything left over from that sale will go to our next month's Good Trouble recipient, which is Do Good Today. We'll be picking everything up on Monday. So maybe some of those items will benefit people coming out of the YCC shelter. So that would be an exciting thing to have happen. My art show continues at the Ogden Valley Library Gallery in Huntsville through August 31st, and 100% of my proceeds benefit the ACLU of Utah. The Unitarian Universalism 101 is coming. This class is ideal for people new to UU, as well as friends and members who want to explore these ideas further. You'll come away with a fuller sense of what it means to be a Unitarian Universalist. This 4-class series will be held Tuesday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m., beginning August 25th. Our next book club is on Wednesday the 19th, and they're reading The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters. Did you know that your grocery run can help fund UUCO at no cost to you? Find instructions in the newsletter to link your Smith's card to donate 0.5% of your purchases to UUCO. Okay, our religious education class needs another teaching team. The children at UUCO need 2 teachers each week to teach our religious exploration curriculum. We're in need of one more teaching team to help us continue building this wonderful program for our children. Shalyn, our religious education coordinator, plans the lessons and prepares the materials. Teachers only need to review the lesson she provides them so they're prepared to teach. Each teaching team teaches once per month or less. Substitutes are available for flexibility with scheduling. Okay, will you be willing to help teach the children's RE classes ages 5 to 10? Shalyn can help you find a teaching partner. We also welcome volunteer substitute teachers as well. We also need greeters. And I want to recognize Sandy, who has been a wonderful greeter for us, but she's not always able to be here. And so the Sunday Support Committee needs more greeters to help newcomers to the UUCO sanctuary. Okay, and our closing hymn.
choir. For those of you who are musically inclined or want to learn, we have choir on the second, third, and fourth Sundays, and we rehearse at 8:45. And although we love for you to be here permanently every Sunday, you're welcome to join us anytime you can make the Sunday rehearsal, which is at 8:45. So come sing with us. And on that note, our closing hymn is in the gray hymnal, hymn number 220, Bring Out the Festal Bread. Again, that is gray hymnal number 220, hymn number 220.
As the service comes to an end, join me in saying the chalice extinguishing words in your order of service. We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, nor the energy of action. Benediction by Joe Miller. Let our lives be a prayer that waters dry souls, mends broken hearts, refuses to be terrorized, seeks the world's beauty, and carries us through its storms.